right, we're going to work on exercise 1 in your notes now, and you'll see this diagram. And the directions say that you're to draw at least 3 different vectors and show what a translation of the plane along each vector will look like. Describe what happens to the following figures under each translation, using appropriate vocabulary and notation as needed. Okay, so you get to decide where these vectors are. So why don't you work on that, pause the video, and then come back and I'll show you my work, which will be a little bit different from yours, but similar. Okay, so I've got my overhead sheet. I'm going to trace my vector so I know where it goes. And I'm going to trace one of the figures here. So we'll do V. The trickiest part of this is drawing underneath your overhead sheet when you get there. So I'm going to translate this shape along this vector. Okay. So now I can lift up and draw V prime. So it's right here. Okay, so this would be V prime along that vector. Okay, and I could do the same thing with another shape. Let's do Q. Okay, we're going to again translate along AB. And you should notice something about the location of these shapes. Their location should be pretty similar in relationship to one another. Okay, I did pretty well there. Okay, so there is Q prime. Okay, so I can draw a different vector. What if I drew, let's see, let's draw a line right through here. And I'll draw my vector. This time I'm going to draw a shorter vector, maybe just like that. We'll call this vector CD. Okay. I'm going to line these things up. So what if I translate V and Q by DC? Oh, I have to draw my vector first. They're already traced, but let's trace my vector so I know how far to go. Okay, and I'm going to translate right there. Okay, so they basically just ended up right on top of each other. So we'll draw these in blue. And then here's my V. Okay, so I want you to practice with this. You were asked to do 3 vectors. Okay, so there's V prime again, but under this translation, Q prime under the blue translation. We'll call it translation B and G for green. Okay, so your paper should look something like this by the time you get the third one done. The third one could be, maybe the third one should point in a different direction, like maybe this way, you know. You could have a vector going that direction. Okay, so the idea being that when we do this type, this is only one kind of transformation. We'll also be doing rotations and reflections. The shapes don't change. They don't change size. They don't change at all. They're exactly the same size and shape. Lines go to lines, points to points, and figures to figures of the same shape.